I remember growing up as a kid and really looking forward to that nostalgic feeling of coming home and playing my favorite games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Skyrim. But I feel like as of late that there's nothing really going on. I mean, I feel like the world of gaming has come to a screeching halt. I mean, really, let's put it into perspective for a second. The only game everybody really is playing right now is Fortnite. Back in the day, we literally used to have so many games that we could play. We had a rotation of 5, 6, 7, 8 games that we used to love. And because of this, in today's video, we are going over some of the reasons why gaming blows. All right, so yeah, I mean, one of the first things, we're going to talk about, and I feel like we have this conversation a lot, is about like the lack of nostalgia in games. Now, I'm 25. You're 10 years younger than me, so you have a totally different outlook on nostalgia with video games, right? Like my personal favorite for nostalgia video games, I look back to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I look back to Skyrim. Growing up, like thinking about the game all day long while I was in high school, or in grade school, just wanting to get home and play the game. I don't feel like I have that anymore. And I don't know, like maybe you have a different perspective on this.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember my favorite game back then was definitely Minecraft. I mean, ever since I was about 6, 7, I always had, my tablet and I was playing Minecraft Pocket Edition. I remember when I got my first Xbox, I got Minecraft on the Xbox. I was so excited. I would say the closest feeling to that was back in early Fortnite. I mean, honestly, since then, I haven't had that nostalgic feeling playing a video game. And one of the main things I feel like it's due to is age.
You think?
It's not the same feeling when they play these games that they used to love. And they think it's because, the game has new updates or new things that they don't remember, the nostalgia of it. But realistically, it's just that people are getting older and there's more things they want to do in life. All the time they had back then to play video games is just not the same anymore.
I generally agree. So I think we're both on the same page here that there is a lack of nostalgia in games, that are releasing nowadays. And I don't know, to our next couple points, we're going to talk about it later, if it's because, they're money grabs or they're trying to release them as fast as possible to make the most amount of money as possible. We don't really know. I agree to a sense, but I also disagree. I don't think it's an age thing. I think it's a lack of storytelling thing. I think a lot of nostalgia comes from a great storyline. Like if you look back at historically some world-renowned great games, we're talking about Skyrim, we're talking about the Assassin's Creed Ezio trilogy series, we're talking about single-player RPG games where you get attached to the character. Legend of Zelda, same thing. So I think we're missing those characters. I think because of Fortnite, everything just got so caught up in this battle pass, battle royale, big game multiplayer that we forgot that the real nostalgia, in my opinion, comes from a storyline.
So obviously, in recent years, Fortnite, I would say, was the first that I remember, have released a battle pass, and many battle passes actually, which always are around, 10 to 15 bucks, which is at first not a big cost,
I don't think it's bad.
It's not bad. A little cost at the start of the game, maybe get some extra XP, some rewards. But recently, every game you see has a battle pass, and it's getting super annoying.
It's getting saturated. It's getting so saturated. I'm glad you said that because it's true.
No, absolutely, because now these games are just putting the same type of battle pass, same reward system. It seems like there's no unique take on anything. If everything feels the same at this point. Let's have our own reward system or our own development or progress in the game that's unique to the game. I feel like everything just feels the same. So I did some research on this, and Dota 2 was actually the first game to have a battle pass back in 2013. I would definitely say Fortnite popularized it 100%.
I would say Fortnite made it a corporate gaming movement that a lot of games went the free-to-play route instead of the $60, purchasing route, like that way, with constant updates to the game. Now, it did good things because it gave us free-to-play games, right? Like the dawn of free-to-play games, which is awesome. The huge con is that everybody adopted it. Market is completely saturated, but now I feel like games are taking advantage of it, right? So like, let's think of a game like Destiny, where I was going with my point before. Destiny made you pay $60 at time of release. Destiny 2. For my Destiny heads, this is not Destiny 1, I know. I'm an OG Destiny 1 head. But Destiny 2 now has a battle pass that you could pay for. You had to pay $70 for the game. However, I do know that Steam, Epic, and Xbox Game Store, I know they put it on the marketplace for free. I get it. But at original cost when the game released, $60. $60 a game pass. And then on top of that, DLCs that cost $30 and $40. Like, Bungie, what the fuck are you doing? Great game, amazing storyline from start to finish. If you want to model a fantastic game, graphics, everything, it's Destiny, in my opinion. But you look so money hungry by doing this stuff, and that's the stuff that's really grinding my gears. That's the stuff that's really pissing me off, because it's a money grab, in my opinion.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. They make it look as if their game is free, easily jump on, and then you can finally get in there, and it's all these things you got to purchase to get the full game. So it's like, what is it really? Is it a paid game or is it a free game? Because they shadow it by saying it's a free game when there's just so many purchases you have to make inside.
Now bouncing on to our third topic, because it's kind of similar. Games are really freaking expensive now, dude. $70 a piece, plus in the states that I live in, tax. So you're paying fucking $75 for video games now. It's crazy.
Yeah, and one of the games I wanted to shine light on is FIFA. I mean, let's look at all the EA games. It's the same game every year. They just give the same entire game with $60 or $70 every year. So it's like, their audience doesn't want to spend the money.
I would spend $60. I think $60 was a great price point for games. And not to cut you off, but I think the reason why games are going to $70 is because of studios and promotions like Rockstar Games creating GTA 6. Dude, it's going to cost $1 billion. $1 billion to create GTA 6, dude. Of course the prices are going to go up to $70, and then it's going to force all the other studios to be like, we have to do more game dev, more research. Look at what Rockstar Games is doing. Now we're going to have to start charging $70 and pumping more resources into our development teams.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think these audiences are unable to like say no, because these are games that they love, right? And these people love playing the games, and the funny thing about it is they're all online games, right? So if you play the old version, you can't play with everyone else. So they basically force you to spend the $60, $70 to buy their new game so you can play with everyone else online.
Our next point, gaps in between games. We just talked about GTA. I mean, GTA 5 came out in 2013, 10 years ago. I mean, fact check me in the comments on that. But like, dude, 10 years. So like, I'm torn, because on one hand, take your time and give me a great product, right? Like between GTA 4 and GTA 5 was also like a 7-8 year gap, but they delivered with GTA 5. The game was amazing. Like, so I'm torn between games like, you know, Call of Duty, right? Games being made too often, or Assassin's Creed, games being made too often with major hype releasing every year and another type of money pit. Or do we go the route of a Rockstar Games, you know, where we take 8-9 years to make a game? I'm torn personally, but if we look at recency bias of games that have been released and how polished and perfect they are, I gotta say that I agree with games being made later so that it's a good product, as long as they're actually taking the time to make it a good product like Rockstar does.
No, I definitely agree with you, but the one thing I would say is 10 years is crazy. Like, I understand the game's gonna be great, and I definitely side with you that games should take their time to make it a perfect product. But 10 years for GTA 6 is absurd.
Well, dude, think about how many people have been waiting for Elder Scrolls, for Skyrim. We've been waiting like 13 or 14 years. Like, it's a long time.
Again, I think this time period is absolutely absurd. Like, these people want the game, and I understand they're still gonna buy it. To keep your audiences supporting you and constantly on your side, like, you're taking way too long. I feel like people have been trying to stay on Rockstar's side for as long as they could, but at this point, it's a joke now.
And yeah, I agree. And you make a great point, because you want to know why? The only way that this fails, right? So the only proof that we've had that large gaps in games actually works is from studios like Rockstar and Bethesda, right? But then you have that Fallout error that Bethesda made, where they made an absolute poop game and they took a few years to make it, and then people were so pissed because they waited for so long and the game was complete dog shit. So the only way that it ends up not working out for Rockstar is if they produce GTA 6 and it blows chunks. Like, it's really bad. So, you know, I mean, the last thing, man, on the agenda for me, you know, I gotta talk about it because I didn't grow up. I mean, I gamed in this era, but I didn't grow up in this era. But the Battle Royale genre, the oversaturation, man, I feel like every single game has to be or wants to be a BR. And I feel like that's not only, you know, trying to reap the rewards and from the successes of Fortnite, but I also feel like this stems from creators. And I'm going to call out creators like Nick Merckx and Tim the Tatman. Like, while I love them, they're like, oh, if your game doesn't have a battle royale, if your game doesn't have a BR genre, it's going to fail. Your game needs a battle royale. It's not true. When you used to load up a game back in the day, it was a team deathmatch. It was a kill confirmed. It was a search and destroy. We didn't load into Warzone. We didn't load into Fortnite battle royales, but we played the game for hours and hours and hours on end. I think personally, instead of this oversaturation in the BR genre, I think we need more storytelling, single player game types, RPGs, and I think we need more, bringing back more of a regular multiplayer and bringing the competitiveness back to that scene. And I think we'll start seeing a more enjoyment out of video games. When a product comes out and it is so oversaturated, it kind of dies everything down.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to agree with you there. I think that the battle royale genre has just completely taken over, and I think way too many games try capitalizing on its popularity. But I also think that having a battle royale genre is not bad in many cases. For example, I think if Call of Duty tried adding Warzone as, instead of Warzone, more focus on the rebirth side of things, I think it would have been a lot more enjoyable for a lot of players. And the reason why I say that is because I think a lot of players just like loading up and just shooting. You know, they like coming right in and playing. A lot of players don't like the slow style of games. So I think adding that as just, you know, a quick, let me load up real quick, 15-minute game, let me have a little fun battle royale experience in a tiny map. I think having that as a side part to the main campaign or the storyline of the game is not bad at all. I think a lot of people would enjoy that. But I think people trying to make it the main point of their game and trying to make a lot of money from the battle passes of the BR, you know, I think it's just too much. I think it's too much, and I think it's definitely way too oversaturated.
Yeah, it's way too oversaturated, but what I will say to you is this. While I do agree that rebirth should absolutely be a thing in Call of Duty, but you're talking about that 10 to 15-minute quick game experience, that's what regular multiplayer is for. And I feel like that's also falls on the hands of the developers to put more XP events, do more events inside regular multiplayer modes, like Capture the Flag. Capture the Flag back in the day was so much fun. People forget about the old school Halo days, the old school Call of Duty days where you load in to play a Capture the Flag. You load in and you played a 10-15 minute game, you got a bunch of kills and you dipped out. That's what it was. So maybe put more of an emphasis on a developer side, also on a creator side of playing those game types, and it will be big again. Like that 10 to 15 minute quick game mode, it will happen.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on the point when it comes to the Capture the Flag thing, because even though Capture the Flag, I have played it here and there, but I don't find it the most fun, and that definitely could be because I grew up in the era of battle royales. I'm not saying that, oh, Capture the Flag is bad because it's old or because it was an old style and battle royale is new. I'm saying this because I really like the competitive aspect of you in a map with a bunch of other players having to get your loot and fight it out and be the last one standing. I think that's much more competitive than being on a team 1 versus 1 team trying to just take each other's flags. Even though a lot of people do enjoy that, I think the battle royale idea is not bad at all, and I think it's better than a lot of the other game modes. So a lot of these older players playing, you know, the Call of Duty Capture the Flag or the team deathmatch game mode,
My generation.
yes, they enjoy that more. I would consider that more of a slow styled game.
Why do you say that?
A lot of the time when you're playing team deathmatch, you know, you're hanging out with your friends, you guys are talking, you guys are just, you know, shooting, you die a lot, okay? So it gets to a point where you die so much that it's normal, you know?
But why is that slow though? I feel like if you're dying a lot, you're in a lot of the action that's fast. I think you're saying it's casual. Oh, yeah.
In team deathmatch, you know, a lot of the time you're just hanging out, you get killed from behind, whatever, you just get back up and you play again. In battle royale games, you got to be on it 100%. So even though, yes, there's a lot of battle royale games, I feel like it's very fun, but I do think there's way too much of it.
No, listen, I can't disagree with that. But what I will say is I think that's just a generational difference between like our generation of gamers, which is why I'm glad we do a show like this, because I think in gaming, and the reason why gaming sucks is because I think our generations are the primary gamers and we disagree on what we want to see in games. Right? I think there's people like me who want to go back and revert, and I think there's people like a generation like you guys who's trying to advance, in your word, you know, advance the gaming space. But I think that's a great reason why we do this, is because we get pretty much both perspectives, like both age range perspectives on it, and I think that's really important. But I think that'll do it for us, guys. That is it. That is why gaming sucks. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. If there's anything you disagree with, let us know in the comments, and we will see you in the next one.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Peace.